100 things I have fixed or upgraded, and hold on to your septic hoses because we're gonna move fast. Nope. Nope. Yep.
Dibs.
If there's an item you want me to expand upon, comment below. If we get enough requests for an item or enough thumbs up on a comment, we'll do an explainer video dedicated to just that. Our RV today is a Grand Design Imagine 3000 QB, but this will relate to many RVs from all sizes and other manufacturers as well. Alright, here we go. Hitch lock from Proven Industries, very happy with this. Propane tanks, we upgraded from the 20-pounders to the 30-pounders. This also includes the stainless steel lines, worth it. Larger 30-pound propane tank cover, of course. We have our 4-point weight distribution hitch and sway control from Equalizer. This has lasted us about 10 years and 2 RVs so far. Just get the 4-point and just be done with it for a long, long time. Bug screens. We have installed these on our furnace, our water heater, and our refrigerator vents. Something to heavily consider, especially if you have mud daubers around. They're cheap, and it only takes you a few minutes to install and can save you a huge headache and expense in the end. Under here we have our stabilization system by Steadfast. This helps remove the bounce from the trailer, especially when there's a whole family of squatches running around inside. It works pretty well, although we had to install it backwards to accommodate our trailer. Goodyear Endurance tires. The stock Westlake's were terrible and were always losing air. I have a video on this, link below. But now I'm wondering about the quality of these Endurances because I've had to replace 2. These 2 here are the last survivors. You're going to want to stick around for that video because I'm about to do something really drastic here. Inside each wheel, we have an automotive-style TPMS from Tucson. I love this as it tells both the tire pressure and temperature at the same time. It saved us twice, including on our most recent trip. Without this, we may have shredded part of our RV. Original video on the install, linked below. For suspension, we have our upgraded Road Armor Equalizer, greasable wet bolts, and upgraded thicker shackle straps. In each spring hanger from the frame we have bronze bushings to replace the junkyard nylon ones that wore completely out just after about 3,000 miles. This suspension setup we have here now has been in service for about 5 years and over 20,000 miles and has been working perfectly. Additionally, we had a wheel seal go bad, which slung grease all over the brakes. Wheel seal replaced. Linked video below. These Anderson leveling ramps. I don't have them set up at the moment as we're on a pretty level spot. However, this one is almost 10 years old, and this one here is about 3 years old as the old one snapped. Highly recommended and working great. Blink cameras. Gotta think about safety, especially in some of these shifty campgrounds or maybe when you're boondocking. Video link below. The Blackstone retrofit. Dump that useless, janky cooktop, dump the fridge, and make yourself a nice little griddle cooking station. Link below on that too. The sewer hose bumper covers. Ever have one of these pop off and the worm from Dune emerges while in flight down the interstate, just shooting out into the next lane and dragging on the asphalt as it's screaming in terror? Well, let's just avoid all that drama. These are nifty because they have little doors and they can actually stand up to the tension of a hose that just wants to pop out. Coming around back, we have this 50 amp to 30 amp extension cord because the 50 amp cords are extremely heavy and don't fit in our compartment very well. We only have one air conditioner, so not a big deal to run on 30 amps. This license plate light is in a terrible spot, right in the way of your foot, so it keeps getting kicked loose. I've sealed this up many times. This bumper hitch. No, not to tow, but so you can install accessories like this flagpole holder. This is so it can hold the pole for our internet antenna if we had to break that thing out. The backup antenna holder. Just a pole I salvaged from our backyard. Still has cement on it. We did use this on our last trip when our Harbor Freight pole bit the dust. The Furion wireless rearview camera with a larger display. I have mixed feelings on this, but still a necessary thing to have. Heading up onto the roof. The Max Air vent covers. Just get these right away. They should already come on every RV by default. If you forget to close your vents and then you have to leave and there's a torrential downpour, well, you know what happens. Not that this actually happened to us. Having these installed will prevent that. The solar panel. A great idea so it keeps your battery charged all year long without having to be plugged in. We're able to run a few accessories continually inside while it's in storage. TBC. Awning repair. Yes, got a few holes. Needed to fix that with a special tape to keep them from getting worse. Miscellaneous die-core self-leveling sealant. Yep, self-explanatory. Keep an eye on this stuff and always carry a tube of it with you in case of emergency. And back down to earth again. Window gasket repair. Twice. This last one is a partial fix while we wait for a new gasket. This jackalope sticker because, well, sometimes bad stuff happens during upgrades. This covers a very costly repair. Watch the RV bathroom video link below for what this was all about. Perfect. Sealant. Well, we've had to address this quite a few times. To replace cracked or peeling sealant, keep a tube of this with you as well at all times. Which reminds me, Miscellaneous screws have backed out, so keep an eye on these so you can keep them seated when they work their way loose. Water filter. Okay, let's pause here for a sec. We have 2 different full water filter setups because we actually forgot to bring one during our last trip. Honestly, these are all the same, so you can get the cheaper one and just find the right filters online on Amazon and swap them in. The quick release and braided hoses for water. We once had a disaster when we screwed and unscrewed the hose on too many times and then the water leaked all over the inside here. I took apart the panel, tightened the fitting on the back, and then went and bought these. Now it won't come loose in the back because I'm not putting stress on the front side. Besides, this makes it super quick to connect your water. Steel wool? Yep, just cram this into your water access ports here and this will prevent mice from working their way up into your RV from this point. I cut in an access panel here for easier winterizing and inspection of this area. Instead of having to take this whole thing apart, now I can just zip off 2 screws, reach around here, and change the valve for winterization fluids. Solar controller? Well, this is to regulate the solar panel up top. There's virtually no maintenance we have to do here. Fire extinguisher, because we should always have one that's within reach, especially in this area. For power, we have this 30 amp surge protector from Southwire. I'm not going to recommend this one because it was supposed to work with 1, a wireless dedicated display inside, and 2, via Bluetooth to the phone. Both do not work, and I eventually returned the external display. However, the surge protector is working great and tells us if the power is safe or not. It also protects us from overloading our 30 amp cord because remember, this is a 50 amp unit. Before we head inside, let's highlight this keyless entry from Carmtech because, well, when you're going to the beach or swimming, there's no room to hold your keys. Check out my YouTube short for the install. Slim shades. These are slim shade windows so we can actually see outside instead of using the stock frosted ones. I have very mixed feelings about this. It leaks, it cracks, it's impossible to open from the inside as the screen door is in the way. However, without it, you're blind to what's happening out your door. I have to now replace both outer covers because they've been cracking, and whiteboard. Extremely handy to remember what you forgot so you can forget it again next time, or just to hang your campsite rules on. The broom holder. Just get it and be done with it. Should be standard on all RVs. Coat hooks. The originals were completely terrible as they were sharp and they cut our coats. Propane level sensors and display. This is just an external display, but typically we use the Android app and it works very well. Carpets and rugs throughout as needed. Just grab these from Costco or Walmart. All cabinet and drawer hardware. I commented on this in a previous video. The original hardware was aesthetically pleasing, but very dangerous. I ripped and ruined one of my coats and my wife cut her forehead open on the one that was above the bed. So we just went through here and replaced them all with something we liked. This glass cover in front of the TV was extremely poorly installed, as it is in all the Grand Design units. It kept crashing open and the screws were backing out up top here. We took it apart and fixed it the right way by installing threaded inserts into each side, then installing these new drawbridge cables to prevent it from opening too far. The TV soundbar, because, well, the TV had terrible sound. Auxiliary lighting. RVs are dark. We put these little motion lights in everywhere, like here, and here, and here, and here, and here. The key holder. Mini keys are needed when camping, so they go here out of the way conveniently. The main TV. The old TV was hung crooked and eventually fell apart anyways. We installed the absolute biggest one we could fit and did some unorthodox magic in the back to get it centered and setting properly. Looking up, we have this AC RV airflow insert installed to increase circulation. Yes, this does help quite a bit, especially if you have only one AC like we do. The integrated speakers were completely terrible. These are marine grade and sound much, much better. The originals were made out of some kind of fragile rattling paper cones, and yeah, we had an exorcism. And then looking over here, we have our upgraded smoke and carbon monoxide detector, rated for a 10-year battery life. Paper towel holder. Absolutely necessary to keep stuff off the counter. Love it. Under here, this kitchen sink fitting failed at the connection and caused a big water explosion. This is fixed better now, so it shouldn't have that problem again. Sealant around the sink. These thermofoil countertops are extremely fragile and ours leaked into the wood underneath. We're in the process of fixing it again here. The microwave. The original one bit the dust while we were full timing. We went with the stainless steel one because it looked neat. That works great again. Spinning around, we have this easy touch thermostat from Micro Air. I know, everyone is talking about this. However, this really opens up options the stock thermostats just don't allow, such as allowing us to keep the overhead fan running and have the heat on at the same time so that we can circulate the heat more evenly. Plus, I can adjust this thermostat from my bed or the couch if we just don't want to get up. Down here, we have the shut-off vent for the heat port because, well, cooking garbage can get very stinky. Speaking of cooking garbage, avoid the cold synthetic AI voiceover fad for your videos or ads, because today's sponsor is, well, me. Give Iron Root Voiceover a call if you want to bring back a real, warm human touch to your products or videos. Link in the description below. Okay, back to business. The remote worker RV section and bar dining area. This is all fully custom. We removed the booth and put in something a little more functional for us when we're spending long periods of time on the road. This keyboard table also folds down so we can have extra space if we're all sitting here eating. This technology area down here houses all our electronics when we're on the go, including the internet router, docking station, laptop, and such. Everything is tucked away neatly. I have footage waiting to be edited for this project, so let me know if you want that. But just to reiterate, we've used this 4G wireless router from Viper Broadband for years. Link to that video in the description below. And then, of course, we have our battery backup, which keeps us fully running during campground power outages or when we're boondocking. We love this backup and has come in handy quite a few times. Looking up here, we have our pest deterrent for when we're storing our RV. Thank you again, JD, for this tip. Note that we can plug this into our 12-volt system and this constantly stays working because we have solar on the roof maintaining the batteries. The theater seating. I love these, but man, the heating pad is problematic on these. This side broke and, well, we won't discuss what I tried to do to fix it. I just may have diagnosed the wrong part and then found out the hard way that the heating pads are not replaceable. We'll just leave it at that. Just know that you should probably try replacing this integrated cup holder control panel first if yours stops working. We avoid the harsh overhead lighting whenever possible. Here's a light we have in the corner that helps with the ambiance. Alright, heading to the kids' room. Here we have an external door handle as we're trying to avoid contact with this peeling area. We'll come back to this in just a minute. This doorstop and door guide solution. Okay, I really need to pause here for a minute on this one. This ridiculous door gave us huge problems. During transport, it kept swinging back and forth because there wasn't an adequate doorstop solution, and the elastic here on this holder just isn't strong enough to keep it from moving. We even had a new door put in place because the bottom got the crap beat out of it. The dealership then attempted to fix the problem. Their solution was to put a tiny little screw up in the track. And it immediately shot out on my way home from the service center. So I put my own proper track doorstop up in here. It was better, but not quite enough, so I then carved this thing out of wood and stuck this down here. There's a longer story to this fix, but if you're having the same problem, just make something like this and all will be solved. The dimmer, pretty self-explanatory. Should be standard on all RV bedrooms. Up here we have our adjustable AC vent. It gets very cold back in this room since it's the closest to the AC. Having this upgrade allows us to control the flow. Each bed was outfitted with a memory foam layer, custom cut, and seems to be much more comfortable than the thin pad it came with alone. Additionally, each bed now has a heating pad installed, and a Roku TV for the children. This cheapo desk from Amazon works excellent and fits here perfectly. Hundreds of hours of homeschool and computer usage on this so far. Heading to the bathroom. There's a whole video on this, but here's the quick summary. Fire extinguishers. Put them everywhere. There's a story behind this. Dehumidifier. This is our second one and we really like this one. A must if you're in a humid climate, especially on the coast, like in Florida. A single handle faucet from Home Depot. Way better than that plastic water-wasting cheap one that came stock when you have to slide your hands against the back of the basin to get them rinsed. Ugh. Under cabinet lighting. Sealant on peeling mirror lumber core. Backsplash accent from Home Depot. Decent toilet paper roll holder from Home Depot. Towel rack holder from from Amazon. Now we can actually fit all our towels on it. These doors are appealing, and I mean all of them. Life Redesign found a solution for this with some styrene plastic U-channel you can order off Amazon. We'll be installing this shortly. For the past 2 years, we've been applying clear glue to slow it down from peeling even more. Ditch the cheap plastic and install a porcelain toilet seat from Home Depot. In the shower, we have this single faucet to help us conserve water when boondocking. Also helps adjust the water temperature better. A shutoff valve to truly shut off the water rather than letting it dribble. The Hammerhead hose, much more flexible and easier on the fixture. The Oxygenics Fury shower head, because it's just so much better. Baskets, because there's never enough shelves in RV showers. The shower seal, we've had to replace it twice and it looks like it's time for a third round. And up here on the ceiling, we have this AC vent shutoff installed, because getting out of the shower with the AC on can be very unpleasant, to say the least. We upgraded to a fan that actually does something. Why don't these just come stock with the RVs? Again, thank you Life Redesign for the tip on this. Easy install from the inside, and as a side note, all these skylight trim pieces are broken too. We'll replace them soon. A dimmer switch because, well, we sometimes have to get up in the middle of the night and we don't want to burn our retinas out. The fan switch was relocated to over here. This light was flickering like it was on a permanent rave, so I replaced it with a new one from Grand Design. Heading to the master bedroom. Oh look, another dimmer switch, for the same reason. Hooks added to a few places because there's just not enough places to hang things. Oh, and another Roku TV. Do you see a theme here yet? Well, now we can use the same remotes in any room. The clock with a temperature sensor. We paired it with the same sensor as the one in the living room. Cutouts on each side of the bed. I haven't installed the trim pieces yet, but now we have a place to set our phones and water, and we have little touch lamps. This brings us to USB power in each of the stands. We had to feed power up to these areas. I have footage of the install if anyone's interested. This is our third mattress because, well, the stock one the RV comes with should have never come with such a thing. Now we're on a journey to find something more comfortable, but we still don't have a clear winner yet. This one's not bad, it's just not quite what we were looking for. On each side we have heating pads. This helps take the bite off cold evenings in higher elevation areas. Under the mattress we have these rubber grates that help with the ventilation of the mattress. We are going to recommend something like this because otherwise you can build up mold under your mattress. Again, something that factories really need to address on basic bedroom construction. I'm still cutting and fitting these together, so the project is not yet complete. Well, that's over 100, and I cannot believe you're still here. Good for you, and today you've earned your Bigfoot Dad Star. Congratulations! Now, you would think with all the repairs and upgrades that the effort and expense may not be worth it. And I'd say that might be true for some people. But for us, this has taken us on some extraordinary adventures and, even for a time, served as our residence for over a year. Is it worth it to us? Absolutely. Enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and perhaps watch another one of our videos right up here. As always, thank you for watching, my fellow Squatchologists, and we'll see you next time.